15 years of mining and crafting. I think that's pretty cool. Actually, that's really cool. I've been playing this since 2014, and I know that because my niece that we bought the game for, to play, we wanted a game that she could play, and I think all we had was GTA at the time. Anyway, we bought Minecraft so we had something to play with her, and she was born in 2009, so I've been playing since 2014 because I've been playing since she turned 5. Wow. I don't know what happened, but I wasn't able to text my sister yesterday, and every time I'm not able to text my sister, I get worried. Or if I text her and she doesn't answer for a really long time, yeah. We at the very least, text each other once a week to say, yeah, we're still alive. Not those exact words, but um, I was trying to I was trying to text her some recipes some recipe videos yesterday, and I couldn't text her, so I think the phone got shut off again or something. Um, so I've been saying all week, Happy New Year. I know it's not, New Year's yet, or the New Year, but, yeah, we're past Christmas, so Happy New Year. Um, I will probably actually wait until the day of to say Happy Valentine's Day or Happy President's Day or something like that, even though I know some of my viewers are not in America. Um, we have, here in America, we have a special day to celebrate our presidents. It used to be that there was Washington's birthday and Lincoln's birthday and President's Day. And we got all 3 days off when we were kids. And I was always like, okay, I understand that it's somebody's birthday, but when it's somebody's birthday, we don't get the day off from school. So it didn't make a whole lot of sense. Apparently somebody else felt like that too, because now it's busted down to, generically President's Day, and you get one day off. Um, So I was just telling my Disneyland stream that I was able to um oh, okay. So I had something that I wasn't really feeling was clear. So I definitely made the story 380 pages because it took that long to clarify it. I mean, that much story to clarify it, that we ended up with another page. But I'm working on page 325. I'm almost done with it actually. I just need to like piece it together and I think I'll be done. So then I'll be working on 326. But right now it's 325 and that's the page number if that wasn't clear. Um so I'm hoping to get the chapter done today. I've been able to solidly do 5 pages each day, so it's going to take a little while longer than I thought, but I'm working on it. You know, there's some days when I'm just like wide awake and I can, work the whole thing and work the whole day and it's great. But then there's other days when I'm just like, I'm not feeling it today. Or like yesterday would have gone a little better. I would have gotten one more page done if a certain voice that I use for Sean and Jesse hadn't been stupid. Because I told y'all that I'm turning my stories into an audio. And for some reason, he added a bunch of words at the end of this one sentence. And I had to go and take the quote marks out and have him say it that way. And he said it just fine. Dang. I am lost. Oh, okay. Not as lost as I. Well, yeah, actually I am. Wow. How about I just go up? Yeah. Oh, yeah, I decided I was gonna have to maybe redo this a little bit. add some land to it, but I don't know if I'm going to do that yet. I probably will, though, because it needs to go out to a certain spot. So I got all of the storyline stuff done on Dreamlight Valley, and it's going to be just routine duties and Star Path. The routine duties for the Star Path and doing the Dream Snaps and the Dream Snap voting, stuff like that. And collecting stuff for the next thing that we need to do. That is going to be, it's going to take a while, but it's not going to be so bad. Um, yeah, and I don't know if it was a good move or not, but I went and took my Dream Snap inside my house where I've already got the Christmas room. Somebody was chatting with me the other day, and they said, I've got no sense of decorating. It's like, I've got no sense of decorating. um, I just told them to hang in there um, and keep trying. I only got that one room the way it was because I like Christmas so much. Usually my Dream Snaps looks like a stuff mart, so I did not add anything to my I really did not add anything to my uh room, so if there was anything else that I could have put in there, oh well. I went with what I like, so. And I think that's where people are getting messed up, is to go with what they like. And, it works out for some. It really does. But then others, it just does not work. But in this case, I think I'll be okay. Um, except for that's a Christmas theme. But, yeah. There's not very much, that I need to do. And I've got all the Cinderella missions done too. So that's the thing, though. I don't know that we will get any princes besides Eric and Adam and Beast and Kristoff, for one good reason. We'll probably get Prince Philip, but it's for one really good reason. They're not like invested in the story, like they're throughout the whole entire thing. Snow White's prince didn't try to actively rescue her until the kiss. Um, And who knows, that may not even be the same prince because he had brown hair when he was singing to her and he had darker hair later. It could be that it was a dark spot in the forest, but some some brown hair turns darker. Although it could have been a mix up uh, in the artist room. But he definitely had one color hair when he's singing songs to her, and then he has a different color hair when he goes and actually kisses her. And what's he doing kissing her? He hasn't even met her. He just thought she looked cute, and he's singing to her from the window because that's what princes did back then. Um, but like Prince Philip, um, you don't know if he has a saving people thing like Luke Skywalker and Harry Potter, or if he kind of knew that that was who he was meant to marry because he just met her. Like he had just met her, and he's like, "That's the girl I'm gonna marry." Well, why would he marry her? He hasn't even been out on a date with her yet. Like maybe she eats with her mouth so wide open that it's distracting. You don't know. It definitely suggests that you go on some dates with the girl that you think you want to marry before you marry her because, you know, if she does, stuff that annoy the heck out of you, then, like maybe either you're going to see a way to live with it or you're going to be like, no, I can't do this. It's better to find out now while you're still technically single than wait until you're married and you feel like you're stuck, you know. Um oh, and just a suggestion, but I do suggest that you do not celebrate the new year with alcohol. There is uh sparkling ciders out there, and I don't mean the spiked ones. There's sparkling ciders out there like Martinelli's that make you feel like you're celebrating with something fancy, even though you're really not. You know, um, we're gonna have to make sure that I have something that's gonna make me stay up all night. on the 31st because I've been I've been so tired lately because on the weekends he's been staying up hideously late. So I like started falling asleep at 9 something, I think. Actually, I started getting tired at 7 something, but but actually, fell asleep at 9 something. And I woke up at 12 something and really couldn't get back to sleep because he's still talking to his friends. And he's like, so loud. And I couldn't get back to sleep. And it's like if I had a way to do that, I would have a second computer upstairs. If I could sleep on the bed, I would have a second computer upstairs so I could so I could have my story playing. But the small problem with that is that he can't go to sleep. He can't sleep to that. So we'd have to figure out a way around that too. I think our headboard's solid, so it doesn't have like decorative curly cues or something like that, where you could like hang a speaker or an earbud from that. I've got a little portable speaker and it works on Bluetooth, but sometimes it's like, oh, you wanted me to actually connect to the computer? Oh no, I can't be bothered to do that. So you gotta turn it off, turn it back on again, and yeah, normal everyday stuff. But yeah, yesterday, I don't remember exactly what it was, but um, oh, it was then why are they flat again, Ashley? But he added like question to question one, and that wasn't even on there. I wasn't even anywhere close to on there. That wasn't even on the page. I'm like, okay. It's enough to, get angry about for a minute and then go and fix it. Because I know just take out the quote marks and you're all good. Yeah. But it is bugging the heck out of me that that voice does that. What do you mean I'm offline? I'm not. Okay. So it says I have excellent signal tonight. I should not end up um like mid sentence and it turns off. That should just not be a thing. Yesterday it sure the heck was. And it's like it was bright and sunny outside. There was no reason for it. I could understand it if it was raining outside or if it was snowing outside, which doesn't look like it is. Um, like I want it to snow, but then on the other hand, I want my husband to be safe. So, unless somebody has a gift truck that is 2019 or newer out there, I guess we shouldn't be wishing for snow. That would be nice to have a vehicle that was 2019 or newer. The seatbelts might work perfectly, and the brakes and what else? Well, everything else works pretty good. Oh, well, the door panel may not be falling off. Somehow the door panel on the driver's side is falling off. Um, we've got a big old dent in the rear part of our truck. Um, but that's okay, 'cause I'm fine with that. And there's one good reason, because I can tell it's our truck that way. Not saying that if we got the ability to get a 2019 or newer truck, that I would, um, that I would be trying to put a dent in it, but um, we would probably, if that would be allowed, we would probably put a, pirate ship on my side and like the Death Star um, or an AT-AT Walker or whatever on the other side. Something Star Warsy. Um, it, in that specific spot. But that way we can tell it's ours. Um, the problem with putting a pirate ship on there is I've got a very exact way I want that ship to look, and we can't necessarily have it look that way. Like, I wanted, there's a ship on the movie Cutthroat Island and another ship on, um, oh, Pirates of the Caribbean Curse of the Black Pearl. They've both got the cabin room, like the captain's quarters, and they've got windows that look out the back of the ship. And I wanted it like that, but there's a small problem. My my pirate ship in my books has a secret passageway that goes all around the ship. And now that I'm thinking about it, did I put that in? I have no idea. If I didn't, I'm gonna have to rebuild the ship. Um, but anyway, it's got a secret passageway, you know, all around the ship. Um, if you drilled a hole through from the secret passageway, you'd find the outside or inside to the bedrooms. And then from the wall that leads to the bedrooms, you find the door for the bedroom, and then there's a hallway. and then across from the hallway is more bedrooms. And then behind those bedrooms, on the other side of the wall, of course, are the dining room and the kitchen and big big walk-in refrigerator and freezer, I think. There's a regular size one, but there's like so much room back there when I build it on. It's not supposed to be that way, but when I build it, it ends up being there's enough room for a walk-in refrigerator and freezer. So doing it this way is going to take forever to take out, but we're just going to do it a little at a time, as time restraints allow. Or is that constraints? Well, whatever. Oh! Oh, cool. Thank you. So, she's asking, do I play... Well, I'm assuming Carolyn is a female name. Anyway, she's asking, do I play on PC or console? I definitely play on Xbox Series X. So that is a console. So I use Twitch to stream, and then I download it to my computer just in case I need to change something. Like maybe the video is like way too long. Although we don't have that program right now, but like maybe the video is way too long and I went down to half an hour. I could therefore cut down the amount of time that it took to do this. In theory, I'm supposed to be able to fast forward it, I think. But I don't know how to do that, so. So I've been just posting it raw, and people have still been watching it. Thank you. Thank you for watching my stuff. I am trying to get monetized, but, it'll happen when it happens. A lot of people have been trying to offer me art help, and a lot of people have been trying to just offer me help in general, and it's like, it'll happen when it happens. I do gotta do some laundry today, though, because otherwise my husband will be going to work, not wearing much, so I will definitely get upset at him about that. Um, I was planning on doing his laundry today anyway. But he has to go and interrupt my stream yesterday to tell me to do the laundry. Like, like he's a caveman and I'm the cave woman that's supposed to like do all the chores. Whoa! Sorry I got loud, but it's 19 degrees outside. If it started raining right now, it would definitely snow. Wow. It was in the 20s earlier. It's like now I understand why I'm ending up wearing a sweatshirt indoors. I usually don't do that. I usually just turn up the heater. And just in case you haven't been watching every single one of my videos, or you're new to the channel and didn't know that I was making videos, this is the world for the books that I write. And well, this is a small part of it. This is where they live when they only go out during the summer. Uh, they go out on their pirate ship during the summer, and then during the school year, the school has dictated that they are going. They've set the rule that they have to be home during the summer. I mean, during the school year. And later that's going to change because sometimes there's an emergency where you know, they have to have all hands on deck, but it's school year. It's the school year. So when that happens, they can do the online schooling or or I think the one time they set it up to where they're just doing like a video chat in the classroom. Um, I write things down so I don't have to remember them. So if I don't remember my story very much, please don't hold it against me. I just have a bad memory. mm. So I play like 15 different games. We've kind of lost track because there's some games I only play once a month because they happen to be Game Pass. Uh, they happen to be Game Pass games and will get me points toward. It used to be a free month of Xbox, but when that's not available, it's a free month. I mean, not a free month, but you know, it's points toward getting a gift card. So the next DLC I need, I can get pretty much free of charge. Or, um, or there might be, a Minecraft skin that I want or something. I don't usually buy Minecraft skins. I like my character the way she is. Um, they keep saying Alex is not in the game, but specifically, my character is Alex. And I will not change her from being Alex because I know that if I do, it may turn out that Alex is no longer in the game. So technically on my screen, Alex is in the game for Minecraft. Um, I think that's weird that they said that though, because she used to be in there, and then all of a sudden she wasn't, and it tried to make me change my character, and I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. Okay, so we're having water issues, and that means change this to, you know what? We'll just change that to that. And we'll do that. And then we'll do that. And then we can go, oh, we should put that a little higher. Okay. Think we're good. Not entirely sure, but I think we're good. There. Anyway, we're trying to take this off because it's supposed to be like, an island. So I was very happy because I went and made it to where I wasn't going to make the book 380 pages, but it ended up being 380 pages because I had to clarify something because, making Ashley wait until she got home to change her outfit because she was out having fun with her friends, and when you're female, you never know when that time of the month is going to pop up, but it did for her. And so making her wait all the way from the lake to her house, and that's like a 2-hour drive, that would not be okay. And Sam Crenshaw would definitely have to get his upholstery cleaned and all that stuff. I mean, he probably would anyway, but so they stopped off at the Walmart, which is not built yet. But we call it the warehouse store because of 2 reasons. I am not, unless they pay me, I am not putting the name of Walmart in my stories. They've gotten me upset at them so many times already. It's not even funny. Especially not listening to their own policies. I walked into work, tears streaming down my face because my knee hurt that badly, and I was told, get to work. Yeah. Because I had fallen on the way to work. They're supposed to send you to the emergency room. Make sure it's not broken. Yeah, a human thing. But anyway, so I had to clarify that she sent Sam into the warehouse store to buy her, supplies for it being that time of the month, and more importantly, a change of clothes. So the a pair of pink pink denim shorts and pink underwear and the female supplies. So I literally just put female supplies. I didn't put like specifically pads or, dare I say it on my stream, tampons. Um, I didn't put that. I genericized it. So that's what I call it. Genericized it. Um, Generalized it. There you go. Anyway, I didn't like specifically put that it was this or that. Um, but anyway, I did explain that she went and took the tags off the shorts and opened up the bag of underwear and pulled out a pair. And I mean, I didn't go into exactly all those details, but I said with all three in hand, she ran into the store and changed, and then she wasn't so embarrassed anymore. Um, so anyway, you know, I had to go and explain all that, and it took long enough that there's now another page in my story. So, um, yeah, so it's even longer now. I will not be surprised if it's 400 pages by the time I'm done. I don't write short books. And my original intention, but then the adult in me got in the way. But the original intention was to write something that you could read in high school when the teacher gets so. I think she got like so fed up that people were reading maybe maybe they were like reading Dr. Seuss to their little brother and did a book report on it, or maybe they were reading reading the short Nancy Drew books or the Sweet Valley High books, and turning into a book report on that. She said it had to be 300 pages. It's like, okay. But the book that I wanted to read, in the form that I had it, was not 300 pages. And I just assumed, I know, never assume, but I just assumed that there was not another copy of that book because the one that they had at the school was the same exact size. My copy of Howl's Moving Castle was 212 pages. And I think the one in the school library was also 212 pages. I don't remember. But the copy I have right now, I'm trying to get all the books that I had back. We don't really have room for books, but I'm gonna sure try to get them all back anyway. Even if they have to sit in boxes until we can get a bigger house. If that's, what we need, what we're gonna do. It could just be that we go and put in some, like we want to put in more cabinets in the kitchen, even though that would totally make it a hallway kitchen, and that is not what my husband wanted. But we need more cabinet space, and we need more cabinet space. We need more bookshelves. You know, we just need more room. Period. But okay, so that's way down here. That is too far down. Oh yeah, that's too far down. Okay. But anyway, I'd like, even if we could just get the books that we had on digital media, that'd be great. If we could get an ebook of each book, but there wasn't one, I don't think, for most of the ones that he was collecting, and even for the ones that I was collecting. Some of them were actually on audio, and I thought that was really cool, but it was only on Audible. And if you can't keep up on the subscription, then they cut you off and don't let you have your book anymore. So, yeah. So if I could have I want to keep the subscription for Amazon Prime because I don't need it for I really don't need it for selling my books, but I do need it if I want to buy my books. Like normally if you order something off of Amazon and you don't have Amazon Prime, it takes a week or two for you to get your stuff, if you're that lucky sometimes. And if you've got Amazon Prime, it'll take like 2 or 3 days. So, it is a good thing to have. My husband doesn't think so because it's, $8 apparently a month, and we don't really have it, but we were supposed to turn it off before, and I asked for help, and he's like, I'm playing my game. So it's like, when the $8 hit, it was like, fine, don't help me. Anyway, so we did get me my subscription for 365. And we made sure that we got the family plan, so it costs a little bit more. But we got the family plan so he could have it on his computer too. I don't think he uses it, but it's there if he needs it. So that's all that really matters. Yeah, so I won't have to worry about that until January next year. And, we've got it all nice in there, and I don't have to worry about it. So I'm happy. And if I ever got inspired to make another story, I've got a ton. I've got like 47 stories. I just gotta, actually finish them. Uh, a bunch of them are in the finished stage, but some of them I think are still in the rough draft stage. Like like parts of the stories that I'm working on right now, you can tell where I was, well, before I fixed it. You could tell where I was like totally inspired. Okay, we need to do this, and this to get this done, and then it was like, how are we gonna continue the storyline to this other part that is very important too? And it was like, I don't know. So we went into rough draft mode and put something in, but now we need to go and fix it a little bit to um cuz cuz Ashley was supposed to be at the lake with Sam. Makes sense. No problems there. Except for that except for that I got the idea that I wanted her in the front yard sword fighting with Chantel. And for some reason, okay, she said that she's been sword fighting with Chantel. I never went and said what Chantel was doing at that particular moment. Oh, now it's up to 22. Um, 22 degrees. Anyway, I never said what Ashley was doing. I mean, what Chantel was doing at that moment. Um, Instead of practicing sword fighting. And that seems like a flaw. Like I should add that she's in the bathroom or something like that. But then Ashley goes and goes into the house. She's in tears because Sean accused her of flattening the tires, and she had nothing to do with it this time. Um, it's not actually confirmed that she's the one that is flattening the tires. It's just assumed because she's the one with a horse that is willing to take her to uh, take her to town. And obviously he has hoof prints. And then she's she's a girl with the bat. So she's the only girl that Sean knows with a bat. Why would she have a bat? I have no idea. I kind of thought that maybe when they were younger, um, I put that into the storyline. It's not like, there's not really a story to it. It's just something that that Sean said happened. So it's not like there's actual storyline to it at the moment. It'll it'll definitely have to be there because I need to connect up the Morgan and Hayden and them side of the storyline with the other side of with the other part of the storyline. And originally I wasn't going to have, originally I was going to have like, um, at least several months where they were not going to have the where they were going to not have the kids. They weren't going to have any kids. And then the problem with that is that in Jake's story Finding Love, his girlfriend get okay. They have a date and they kiss and she gets pregnant with twins. I don't know how common twins are um in Australia, but that's what I came up with, so And that was interesting because I have a whole handful of Australian voices to work with. But some of the female voices sound like they're adults, and some of them sound like they're, like they could be used for a teenage girl. And it was just, it's just like, don't you have a middle ground? um, it just didn't work the way I wanted it to, but I figured it out. And so Natalie's got the one voice, and her sisters have another voice. They had triplets after they had the twins. And then I was like, okay, they're having, one more after that. And so they have little brother Kevin. They have Jonah and Natalie the first time. And then they have Tiffany, Patty, and Jenny. And then they have Kevin. And I think there ends up being 2 Kevins, which is kind of... I think there ended up being 2 Kevins and 2 Laurens. So, yeah. Adam was dating a girl named Nancy, or at least, she was the bestest best friend at that point in time. Um, the female bestest best friend, and then all of a sudden I had him dating, Lauren in this other one, but somebody else was dating a girl named Lauren. So, yeah. So we ended up having 2 Laurens, and we had to go and address that. It's when the younger generation, so not Morgan and Hayden in them, but that Ashley and Sean and all them generation, they end up having 2 Laurens during that. And so when they're taking the ship out for the very first time, there's some drama at first, but they finally get to the ship, and they're doling out room assignments. And oh, I got a story that happened in real life for that too. Anyway, they're doling out room assignments, and he says, Lauren is in this room, and then the other Lauren is in this room. I mean, and Lauren's in this room. And they go, well, which one's which? And so it's, I want to say one of them's Lauren Parker, got put in the one room, and then Lauren, we'll say Hanson, because I don't know the other girl's last name, got put in this room, But yeah, okay. So, about a month ago, one of the people I watch their channel all the time, because they usually go to Disneyland, and they tell, really cool secrets. Like, the Haunted Mansion has um, a mausoleum, I think you call it. If you're looking at the Haunted Mansion with the the rivers of America behind you, um, uh, and then, I think, near the exit, I think. Anyway, there is a mausoleum for an elephant. I think he said her name was Penny, the Penny the Pachyderm, and it's there for, I mean, at the Haunted Mansion. But they were on a cruise. They're always going on cruises or to Disneyland or they've gone to Nefteline in the Netherlands, I think it is. They've gone to Disneyland Paris and, a whole bunch of different stuff. And you would think that they're, totally rich, um, but it's the donations that they get from people that allowed them to be able to do this. So, anyway, they were on a cruise about a month ago, and all of a sudden the cruise ship stopped dead in the water. It was not, it did not, it was not dead, it was able to move. Just, it stopped because somebody said, "Man overboard." And we don't know if that really happened or somebody said it was a woman, not a man. Anyway, while I'm watching this, I'm freaking out, and thinking, oh my goodness, all they wanted to do was go on a cruise, they end up overboard. I was personally thinking that it was probably somebody that was drinking too much and was like, "Oh, look," and leaned over too far. But anyway, it turned out that everybody was present and accounted for. So it was probably that the mama whale and the baby whale had surfaced, and because somebody had said that they saw them fall over, but somebody must have been seeing things or something, because did I take that out? Or is it down here somewhere? Oh, down here somewhere. Anyway, they said that they had seen the person go overboard, and, that's some scary stuff right there. But, yeah, it turned out that, it either turned out that, the person was mistaken and it was just, the baby whale or the mama whale. Or they finally found the person and just didn't want everybody to panic. But, it was all kind of left mysterious still. But they did say that everybody was all present and accounted for, so so they could keep going. It was okay. And that included staff. I think being on a cruise ship might be cool, but I do get seasick very easily. In fact, I was very surprised because I was watching that video, and he's videoing the ocean, and I could watch that no problem for the most part. So I was like, okay. Like, you see the ocean in movies, and it's always moving. It's constantly moving. But the ship is usually moving too. So maybe that's the key. Anyway, I don't know what the deal was, but I wasn't getting seasick yesterday. Maybe it was because I was like too invested in the what was going on. I don't know. But like, there was a white thing in the water, but it's like, you kept losing sight of it. So maybe that was a baby whale and just messing with people. I don't know. But there was a mama whale and a baby whale. They saw them both surface, and anyway, the story turned out good. So yeah, because like when they said man overboard, it was their first thought was, oh no, Miles, because that's their son. But he was fine. He was in the kid playroom thing, and he was fine. And he seems to be a good kid. Listen to his parents, listen to the kid room, the playroom people, and so I didn't think that he'd be, I didn't think that he'd be that kid to get away from the, I didn't think that he'd be the type or that he is the type that would just, walk away from everybody and look too far over the edge. I just didn't think that was him, and I was right, so. But yeah, I was kind of freaking out at first too, oh no. But, he's a smart kid. Anyway, yeah, that was one of the videos I watched yesterday. Most of them were, like gameplay of, like farm sim gameplay. There was, Preston and Brianna playing Brain Rot. I'm sure there was more stuff than that, but I can't remember what at the moment. Anyway, then I was working on my story, and at least listening to, I looked up every once in a while, but mostly listening to those videos. They were playing on the TV, and we did take down the Christmas tree. I love our Christmas tree, and seriously, it would be up all year long if we had the room for it. And we don't, so I mean, it would probably have a plastic cylinder around it so the cats couldn't get to it. But, but it would be up all year long. I actually had some Christmas decorations up in July of 2008, and somebody held it against me, and it's like, excuse me, America says freedom of religion. So that means you are not allowed to sit there and tell me that I cannot have my Christmas decorations up any time of year that I want. But, it showed that that we were being irresponsible because we had our Christmas decorations up in July. Whatever. Anyway, it's kind of cool because um cuz after all that drama, a whole bunch of people quit. So, that felt like justice, kind of. Anyway, I was pretty happy because there was what I thought was a stain on my shirt, and that's my brand new shirt, and my pretty pink shirt, and I washed it as soon as I found the stain, and it seems to be gone. So hopefully it is. I mean, there could be that I just wasn't looking in the right spot, but I think it's gone. And I'm gonna have to do some laundry in a little bit here. Like I said. So years ago, we came up with that he does the dishes and I do the laundry because he has no feel for laundry, as people put it. Yeah, none whatsoever. It's usually no feel for sauces or no feel for sauces, no feel for noodles, something like that. But in this case, he has no feel for laundry. Like, he would go and just put all the colors and all the whites together and call it a day. You're not supposed to do that. You're supposed to separate the whites from the colors and all that. But his mom doesn't do that. So, well, I think she separates whites from the colors. But other than that, she goes and puts it all in together and I don't think that their laundry smells all that great after it's done washing, so they use Tide. I just don't think it smells good. Laundry is supposed to smell like it got washed. It's not supposed to smell like whatever. So, and my mother-in-law thought she was being so, so gracious. You can come over and use my dryer. Yeah, her dryer that's like seemingly 100 years old and doesn't work. Unless she got that replaced. Anyway, I'm one of those. I like my dryer. I like my washer. Like when people don't call me during the stream to scam me. I actually got one scam call on Christmas, and it was like, it was like they knew. They knew I was going to be mad because I actually answered. If I would have gotten a person, I would have been like, it's Christmas. I was going to yell, it's Christmas. Yeah, it's funny. My mother-in-law says that her hearing aids don't, she can't hear that well with them, but she definitely cannot hear hardly at all without, right? So, she says that, but then she went and took the hearing aids out because she knew I was going to yell at that guy. She didn't want to hear the spam call. And it's like, okay. Is it the way that you're saying it, or you just can't hear very well with or without your hearing aids? Or is it that you've got selective hearing? We know it's selective hearing because sometimes she can hear just fine, and then, 5 minutes later, you'll say something to her and she all of a sudden cannot hear it. I don't know. I think her ears are getting worse, really. So, I think my father-in-law said that when, and we're going to update a whole bunch of stuff if we do, but when they, go on their extended vacation, we get the house, which would be okay, except for that they live in a, they live in a neighborhood where you have to have four-wheel drive to get out of it during the winter. Wouldn't be too bad over there, except for you can't walk anywhere. Like right now, I could walk to the library if I needed to. I could walk to the, I could walk to Walmart. If I really wanted to go for a walk, I could go to Denny's and, Burger King, but that's even further out than Walmart. Um, I could walk to the library if I didn't say that. There's a whole bunch of places I could walk to. But over there, you can pretty much just walk to Walmart and Costco and the Dollar Tree. And, there's just not enough places that I want to go to over there. And they don't have central air and heat like this place. It's definitely needing the seals redone. I'm pretty sure it probably needs the insulation redone. The carpets definitely need to be replaced. The whole thing needs, I think the whole thing needs better electricity. Well, our place does too, but it just needs to be updated. But it would be cool to have, it would be cool to have a house, a house instead of a townhouse. We basically have what Barbie has, but stick built and not plastic. I always thought Barbie should have um a wooden house instead of the plastic one, because the plastic one, it falls apart, and it's got, basically cardboard as each of the floors. It needed something more solid. It needed, more like a dollhouse. But yeah, that's another project for another day. Okay, so yesterday I streamed Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy. No problem. Um, it's Rare Books, John Cash, uh, Kasich or something like that. It's like, it's like, Kasich or K. I can't remember which. Um, Something like that. Anyway, and then I did way too long of Minecraft, and then I was trying to do the last little bit of Tinkerbell's quest. Literally, I just needed to go up to Tinkerbell and talk to her, and I didn't know it. So I went up to her, I talked to her, I um she said something about try on the dress, and I'm like, okay. So just in case I needed to actually talk to her about it, I went and put on the dress and tried to meet her in Honeypot Falls, and it turns out that I didn't have to do that. Well, fine. I'm good with that because I'm sorry, I did not like that dress. I wasn't going to be wearing it long anyway. So I went and put on my, or no, while I was talking to her, just after I got the dress, it goes and messes up and just cuts out. But we are guessing it was a Twitch thing because of the fact that the internet did not go out. My husband was still able to play his game. All that stuff. So, still on my game, but just it wasn't recording anymore. And I'd been on there for like 5 minutes. That was annoying. Well, that was more than annoying, but yeah. And I have to get this at least 10 away from where I have to get this at least 10 away from where it was. There's one One build that they've got over here that, um, I mean, there's one TSMC hyphen Minecraft build that, remember, I usually call them TSMC. But if you just look up TSMC, you're not going to find them. Or at least I didn't last time I looked. Because there's a few people called TSMC. You have to find the correct one. Because otherwise you get something else entirely. It was mostly business stuff. That said TSMC. Anyway, he's got this one, I think it's a townhouse that I'm going to use as the apartments. I'm just going to leave the windows off the side. And then there's this other build. It's on the side of a cliff. And, you've got windows and I mean, it's got windows and it's basically looking like an apartment if you were an ant in an ant farm. But it looked really cool. I want to build that too. I could build that in this build. Just make sure it's away from the part with the island and I'm all good. Yeah, I got nothing else. Oh, except for that. Okay, so one of the what? Hold on. Okay, one of the things is one of the things in the next chapter is that, I mean, in the next book is that Sean needs to, or feels the need to get rid of Ashley's boyfriend. Because, he, he still wants to be the boyfriend. He's just, he still wants to be the boyfriend, but Hayden says that no pirates can date his daughters. And, whether the daughter agrees with that or not, he's going to try to stop them. And, of course, Sean's a pirate. So, anyway, Sam Crenshaw introduced Ashley to Adam Baker. Adam Baker is very important in another series of books that I haven't even tried to publish yet. They're probably still in rough draft mode. They probably really are. They're probably still in rough draft mode. But he, so the one night, the last night that he's going to be in town, Adam gives Ashley a really good kiss. He was there for dinner, and he gives Ashley a really good kiss, and Sean's like, "That's too much," and or what, him or Hayden said that that's too much, and threw him against the wall by the front door. Anyway, so, oh yeah, it was Hayden. So Hayden calls for Sean. Sean is told to escort him outside, and he throws him against his uncle's ugly black truck. Well, then he goes, uh, you know, yeah. They, Sean ends up taking him to the airport himself, and and it turns out that the truck was, I mean, not the truck, sorry, the airplane was sabotaged, and, or, that a bunch of their airplanes were sabotaged, and that was the only one that could go out. And so so Sean calls for the, uh, Sam, Sean calls, Mitch and Travis and Craig and Tristan. I think, no, it was probably just Craig and Tristan, but anyway, he calls them, or maybe the four of them, whatever, to come and inspect the airplanes. Well, maybe that was the other chapter where it was the cars. No, yeah. I don't know. Okay, so I don't know if I wrote in that he got, you know, the pirates to inspect the airplanes, but um, I want to say he did. And if I didn't have that, then maybe I ought to add that. But anyway, they got to the airport like just in time, and then it turns out that the flight's delayed. So it turns out the flight's delayed because the pilot called in sick, and um yeah, there was something wrong with the co-pilot, and the pilot called in sick. So anyway, Sean ends up having to fly the plane, and on top of that, there's a military guy that needs to get back to Texas because his wife's about to have a baby, and he wants to get there in time to rush them to the hospital and almost get unalived. That's how he says it. Not unalived, but he says the other word, but you're not supposed to say that on stream apparently. But anyway, on the way to the hospital. So, that's how he says it, and Sean tells him, no, just, be calm. Calm down, and yeah, he's one to talk because in one of the chapters in one of the books, he is not calm. It'll make more sense later when you get to read the book. But that one is not published yet. It's not even close. Okay, so anyway, he's flying the plane, and the military guy, he's a jet pilot. So, his wife's worried that one of these days he's going to be up in that jet and it's going to go crashing down, and yeah. But yeah, so Sean has to go and stop for a break real quick. He goes and steps out of the cockpit, which I just decided was, like, it's a open room. There's a cockpit, there's no door, there's just, you walk out into the room. So he notices that Adam is tied to his chair. He sees that there's a whole bunch of other people tied to their chairs. And he asks Adam, "How long have you guys been like that?" And Adam goes, "Oh, about since you turned off the seatbelt light." So then Sean gets forced to sit down about where he's standing and, not close enough to use the wall as a leaning post. And they are like that for a while until, um, well, not until they got to New York first, and then they let a couple of passengers off, and then they went to Texas. Well, Sean has to be reinstated as a pilot, and he is, and Ben gets forced to jump out of the plane with a parachute. And he lands just outside the gate, um, gets the parachute all away from him and everything, and then walks up to the gate and says who he is and all that. Well, Sean gets him to, California after that, and that's when Adam is allowed. No, they go to Colorado first, and Adam is, or no, Sean is told to get off the plane and help his grandparents with their luggage. And if he didn't get back in time, Adam was going to suffer for it. So he gets back just after Adam did suffer one little cut, I think it was. And then they went to California. Adam gets to get off, and um, and his brother and I think his sister-in-law, no, just his brother, was waiting for him, and he starts telling him the story of what happened, and his brother Nick goes and tells him, "Wait a minute, share the story later. Rose will want to hear it too." That's his wife, and so so they're done, and then I think they ended up going to Hawaii, and I don't remember what had to happen there, but anyway, he ends up sleeping for, or no, yeah, I think he ended up sleeping a little bit there, and then he goes and flies back to San Francisco, where I know he slept, and he's told that his flight plan has been changed because, instead of going over Colorado and then Texas and then and then to, to New York, he's having to go like over Chicago or something like that. I can't remember where Chicago is. Illinois. He's like having to go over, Illinois and then to New York because there's a big storm in Texas. So anyway, somewhere on the way back, he acquires Officer Steph, who is sitting in the co-pilot seat, and I think I named her Stephanie Mitchell, and I wasn't thinking that Pete Mitchell, Top Gun, but I think that's why I named her. But anyway, whatever her last name was, um, whatever her last name was, um, she rides with him all the way to Ireland, and I was having such a hard time with the old AI program because to get it to say Officer Steph, it was like STAIF or FF, something like that. Anyway, it was crazy. So this program, I just I typed in Officer Steph and it said Steph. And I'm like, yay! Because I call, my sister's name is Stephanie, so I call her Steph. So I was thinking, Officer Steph. Yeah, that works. Um, got two sisters. One's name is Stephanie. One's name is Jennifer. Jennifer's the older one. Um, I got two brothers, Josh and Chris. Josh is the older one. Um, well, he's Christopher, and technically he's Joshua. But anyway, um, but anyway, um, but from dad and mama, I am an only child. I've been thinking about that, because technically Josh and Jennifer are steps, and Stephanie and Chris are halves, but I don't call them that. I just call them sister and brother. I'm sure I've mentioned that before, but just in case you're new, yeah. Anyway, this is literally taking forever. I might get done with the chapter today and um yeah, I might get done with the chapter today and just um might get done with the chapter today and just come on here and do a lot of this off camera. I'm sure it's not very interesting on camera. If you think it is interesting, please leave a comment in the comments below, because I've been thinking it's not, and maybe you think it is. Maybe you like the technique that I'm doing. I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't know. I get worried that whatever I'm doing isn't as interesting as I would like it to be. Or that you're not going to see it in the same light that I am, somehow. Or you're not going to understand that I'm building the world for my stories, um and you're not going to understand that certain things needed to be done a certain way, you know? I'm kind of worried that I just thought of this. I'm kind of worried that I'm going to go that way-ish, and instead of finding a lovely spot to put New York or the Amazon island even, I'm gonna end up. Um, well, one time I had Disneyland over there, or I was starting to have Disneyland over there. I had built it in the um, I had built it in the direction of uh, I had built it beyond. If you were looking at my mansion from the ocean side, Dublin is to the right of it, and I had built Disneyland to the right of that. There was an expanse of ocean, and then there was Disneyland. Um, I'm actually building Disneyland in a whole separate file just because it made more sense. And if I can go and build it on a whole separate file and then get the um I don't know how easy it is, but if I can get like the Java version for my computer, because we had a little problem where my computer needed to be redone. It wasn't letting me in, and so we took it to a place and um, got it fixed. But I don't have Minecraft on my computer anymore. So, yeah, it's like, why do people put viruses in things, just to laugh and, laugh at people suffering? That's not okay. It's not funny. Um, Especially, okay, so certain websites, you're watching it for entertainment value, and then, something you click on gives you a virus. It's better to, I, I I think it's better to watch that stuff than act on what you're watching, you know? I mean, if you're with your if you're a husband with your wife, that's one thing, but um yeah, we're gonna have to go into more details, and that's not okay. Anyway, so eventually I will be done with this book and it will be published too, but it'll probably be the first book published in 2026. And I'm going to try to make it a smaller book so maybe it doesn't cost so much to print it. I mean, if it costs more, then we'll just make it be the size that it's been. But I like the smaller size. Um, well, the size I have now, it does fit into a backpack purse, and you don't have to like finagle it or anything. You just have to put it in there. It does fit into a backpack purse. Um, and I had to get a backpack purse because anytime I have a regular purse, my shoulder starts hurting or my back starts hurting. So I can't do that. Um, or it starts hanging on my neck and making me feel uncomfortable. So anyway, I have a backpack purse and I like that a lot better. Um, yeah, I was gonna say, where's the trunk? Anyway, What else can we talk about for about a half an hour? I don't know. Oh, well, I know this has nothing to do with Minecraft, but on Dreamlight Valley, I actually started putting in a storage system on the second floor of my house. The stuff in your house does not count for the item limit. And for a while there, I was trained to say, okay, this stuff is for Beauty and the Beast, so it needs to go in the Beauty and the Beast room. But then there was so much stuff in the Beauty and the Beast room that it was oozing out into the rest of the house, and that wasn't okay. And then the stuff's for the Aladdin room, but some of that stuff was for outside use only, and anyway, it just ended up having a little bit issues with that. So I'm gonna go and collect everything in the house and put it in my thing, because we've got filters. I can go and say, okay, I need Aladdin, and like I need Aladdin, I need Beauty and the Beast, whatever, and be able to have what I need for the dream snap, because that's pretty much the only time you need to decorate unless you want to decorate. And I don't, because 95% of the time you do something for a dream snap and then you gotta pull it down again because the next week it's something totally different. So it's like, why decorate? Um, but then there's people like Suro and Mr. Starnsky that they're like, yeah, we love decorating, and they get inspired by the people who have fully decorated stuff. And I mean, fully decorated valleys, and I'm sitting there going, why? You're just gonna have to take this, and this, and put it in your you know, put it in your dream snap. So I'd rather just have everything available to me. Um, but if you like decorating, that's fine. You know, I'm not gonna stop you. I'm not gonna tell you to stop, because um, but those are the kind of people who go and buy like 50 of these and 40 of those, and are saying we need to hire item limit. Well, you can't have a higher item limit until you can get the Switch to quit crashing the um on the item limit that we already have. Like, I think the Switch, you can only have the 3,000 item limit, and I'm not even sure about that. Anyway, um, yeah, I'm really excited to finish the chapter, and soon I'll be able to finish the story. Well, I need to make the story make more sense, because um you wouldn't give a horse medicine if it wasn't actually sick, and so that wouldn't make sense. But then I had to have him recover a lot sooner than I wanted him to. So I don't know how we would work that out, but anyway, maybe, maybe, uh, Ashley's got two horses. She, I mean, she only has one horse, but maybe she's got two horses. Maybe that would make sense. I don't know. What else can we talk about? I have no idea. Well, we're gonna be doing this tomorrow. Um, so on Saturdays we do Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy, but then it's like, well, what do we do to fill up the time? Because we're trying to stick to 8 to 11, 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Um, Pacific Daylight Time. And, it's like, well, what do we do? Because this is going to get boring really fast. Um, but eventually it will be like, building the high school and building this and building that. And, I mean, we could build part of the high school on Mondays and then do this on, run down the timer days. I don't know. But anyway, whatever we're going to do. We do need to go and figure out how big the parking lot is, and then we could start putting in stuff like the sidewalk and the planter and then the other sidewalk and all that stuff. I don't think it's a planter actually. I think it was just grass, but whatever. Um, we'll figure it out. Um, I don't know. It's just, like the I'm making up parts of the high school as I go along because I didn't like the way that they looked before. And now I'm like trying to make it look exactly the way I want it as opposed to exactly how it was. Because the high school, my um I'm basing that on my high school that I went to when I was a kid. Okay, I just thought of something that I could tell you about. I don't know all the details again, but I know enough of them. So there is gonna be a household member soon, named Raphael, and he likes Pepper, who is the chef for the mansion, and when they go away over the summer, she's also the she's the son and daughter of Britannia. I mean, the son and daughter, yeah. Uh, Pepper is the daughter of Britannia, the original cook, and then something happened. I haven't fully developed that yet, but something happened, and Britannia got angry and decided to um, go live with her husband in New York. And she opened up a restaurant called Brittany's, and has nothing to do. As far as I know, it has nothing to do with like Breakfast at Tiffany's, but maybe it does. Maybe it did. I mean, inspiration from, but really, it's just a 5-star restaurant on Fifth Avenue named Brittany's. It doesn't really exist unless it does, and then I'm gonna have to change the whole concept. But as far as I can tell, it did not actually exist. Um, but she's owner operator. She cooks all the dishes, and eventually she hired Raphael, and eventually she hires Raphael's younger brother. He's younger by 5 years. Younger brother Riley. I heard the name Riley on something. Oh, Terminator 1. And I also heard the name Riley on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV show. So I was like, I want a character named Riley. And so that's where his name came from. Um, okay. So um, anyway, the thing is though that he's got some skeletons in his past that he's kind of he's trying to ignore it. He really is. He's trying to ignore it. But they him and Pepper um get married, and they're on their honeymoon. And I know that's a huge spoiler alert. But anyway, and they're on their honeymoon, and they run into this they go on this one street, and it just happens to be a competition for Shatanas. Uh that's that building in the France build that we do not talk about on Minecraft streams. But it had to be built. Um anyway, it's competition for there, and um also the guy, is like a mafia kind of guy. Um anyway, so he goes in, and they both get kidnapped by that guy's minions. And to start out with, they were in a firefight, and um, Adriano is the bad guy there, the head bad guy, and um, I was going to use an example of a head bad guy, and then I was like, no, that example does not work. I would probably get hauled into jail for that one. Um, yeah, I was just gonna use the example of like the president, and then he's got all those people helping him. you know, but in this case, they're bad guys, you know. Um, but, uh, but that doesn't seem to, it doesn't really seem to fit. I mean, it does, but it doesn't. So, and that it was not a poke against President Trump, just so everybody is clear. He's starting with gas prices now. He needs to start on the food prices next. But other than that, you know, and I hope that he is, well enough to finish out his term and that we get somebody that is good in there next. Um, I didn't think Biden was good. And when Kamala was campaigning to be the first woman president, I didn't like her either because she's like, I did a summer at McDonald's. It's like, yeah, well, there's people out there because of you, and because of you and President Biden that had to work at McDonald's as their job, not just for the summer. And our friend sit around said that that wasn't even confirmed that she actually worked at McDonald's ever. So, that was like, okay, I didn't like her anyway. And then, like like she's saying, I worked a summer at McDonald's. Well, okay, there's people who have to work there, on the daily, as people put it. So, yeah, you saying that you understand the common people because you worked a summer at Walmart. Ew, really? I mean, not Walmart, McDonald's. My brain gets them, uh, interchanges them all the time because, uh, for the longest time, one of our McDonald's was in a Walmart. Not all the other ones in that area, but that one is or was. Oh, I think it's a was. I don't remember. I'm sorry. But I don't think McDonald's is in there anymore. Um, I don't know why, but I think they severed ties. And that just seems like a big no-no. Because, I know that Walmart thinks they're all that in a bag of chips and the glass iced tea and the candy bar and the, whatever else ridiculousness that we could come up with at the time. But McDonald's is like a big, well, it used to be anyway, a big crowd pleaser for when you're out Christmas shopping and, you just want to get something real quick. It was really awesome because you could get, um, you used to be able to get the hamburgers for, 50 cents, 29 cents, whatever it was. And, um, get a fries and a drink, um, for pretty cheap. And, that was dinner, or at least, a snack until dinner. But now Walmart seems to be going, people want healthy food, but they don't put a Subway or a Quiznos or Firehouse Subs or whatever in there. They just leave that part of the building empty. Or like recently um there was and they weren't very good. I was not impressed. There was a restaurant in one of our two Walmarts. It was like a hot dog on a stick kind of thing, but like I said, it wasn't very good. It has hot dog on the inside, and it was, I think, potato outside. Like instead of the corn, I think it was potato. And my stomach did not like it. Of course, that was before my surgery, so. So we ate there like 2 times, and I'm just like, no, I'm done. Um, ooh, I'm now wondering. Okay, so we have a Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is, um, I think it's chicken instead of burgers, you know, and the food tasted good. There was something that was a little off about it, but from what I remember, but the food tasted good. But my stomach was like, oh heck no. It was like, oh hey no. And I don't know why. It tasted fine. They're one of those restaurants that, no matter which one you go to, it tastes good. Usually. Um, but I remember there was something a little off about it. But yeah, my stomach just did not like it. Um, it's like when you go to Carl's Jr. in Reno and ask for the Western Bacon Cheeseburger, it tastes like a Western Bacon Cheeseburger. Now you go to the one down the street from our house, and it tastes like a mustard burger. Not the same thing. Oh great, my controller's low again. Just changed it last night. So, the person I was talking to plays Call of Duty, and that's mostly what she plays. Is what she said. So, um, I was saying that I play like 15 different games. Um, I play Disneyland Adventures, Minecraft, Backgammon, Roblox. Once a month I will play Zoo Tycoon. I do not like playing Zoo Tycoon because of the fact that you have to pick up the garbage, and that's all you ever get to do. You're supposed to go around and feed the animals, take care of them, make sure their areas are clean and all that. And I've pretty much got it on creative mode. I've got um no limit on money, and um I didn't know how to build it up from 0 to anything because it wasn't making enough money and you could not charge to get in. Um, I think I've got it to where I'm charging to get in and maybe not. I don't know. Anyway, I might be charging to get in not a specific number. I would thought it was going to be more like Roller Coaster Tycoon where you go and set the price yourself for getting in, but it says like low, medium, high, and extreme or something like that. Um, and I thought you were going to be able to put down as many garbage cans as you want because if I could put down a lot more garbage cans, then it wouldn't be a problem. Also, the maintenance guys, all they do is sweep. I'm about to fire all my maintenance guys and say the heck with it. There's gotta be a reason why they're not doing it and a way to make them do it. But I just can't figure it out. But anyway, when I'm on um Roller Coaster Tycoon, which I'm not on there very often, but when I am, I go and put, like garbage can bench, garbage can bench, garbage can bench. You know, I go and try to make sure that there is enough seating for everybody in that park. It's making me want to play that. It's making me want to play that, but I know that I'm going to hurt my wrist after a while, so I know I won't end up doing my story. I need to do my story. Um, yeah, the thing is that I want to go and totally lost track of what I was saying because the battery died. Yeah, isn't that fun? Totally lost track. Um, but anyway, then I played Dreamlight Valley, um, whatever the current version of GTA is, so I just put GTA on my streams, because, I just, I'm guessing that nobody's really gonna care which version as long as it's GTA, so, um, it's technically, I think, GTA 5 Online, but it literally just says GTA, so I just put GTA on my streams and nobody seems to mind. Nobody seems to mind, and, that way I can get labeled faster and start playing. The snow is on at the moment, as far as I know. I haven't been back on it in a few days. So maybe I'll play a little bit of Dreamlight Valley and then a little bit of GTA. I cannot play with my husband though right now, and we've got one more thing to do on there. I want to finish, and I can't really play with Squibs because we end up arguing because he wants to do things his way, and I want to do things um like anytime we go anywhere, he wants to be the person driving. Well, I want to drive. I've got a car. I want to drive. And I'm not saying that we need to drive in the same car because um, his internet lags out sometimes, and or just is it's okay. Like he'll be going down the road. For example, he'll be going down the road um, on my screen over by Maze Bank, and if you don't know where any of these places are, it's okay. Um, and then all of a sudden, he'll be at the beach, and he's still telling me that he's driving toward the airport. So, yeah. And we're like, why are you at the beach? And he's like, I'm not. Or, I was 5 minutes ago. Or, you know, something like that. And it's like, okay. We know that. I mean, that hasn't happened in a while. I think they finally got some kind of stronger internet, but um, it was crazy for a while. Although they don't have, uh, there's three people that they don't have in the house anymore using up the internet, so they've only got, yeah, so they only got 5 people using it now instead of the 8 people that they had using it before. Um, because Squibs says that um, my niece, I assume future nephew, um, and my daughter moved out. Um, so hopefully it'll work out and it'll be great. And I'm only saying I hope because, usually if you've got um, usually if you've got young people and, they want to be alone, they really don't want that third person in the house. Um, anyway, I don't know what's going on with that one, so I'm just gonna hope for the best. Um, oh hey, 2 minutes till, yay. Okay, so, I think I said this earlier in the video, maybe I said it in the first one, not this one. I write books, and they are available on Amazon in hardback, paperback, and ebook. There will be 6 links in the description below. Just pick a link, click on it, and it'll take you directly to that book on Amazon. And my books are The Rolling Sea Beginnings, Book 1, Pirate's Daughter. The Rolling Sea Beginnings, Book 2, Misfortune. The Rolling Sea Beginnings, Book 3, Hard Times. The Rolling Sea Traitor, Book 1, Esperanza's Party. The Rolling Sea Traitor, Book 2, The Island. I'm working on The Rolling Sea Traitor, Book 3, Lessons in Love. And hopefully it'll be out by the end of the year, but I seriously doubt it, like I said. I'm thinking sometime in January. And hopefully everyone will buy it because they're going to be like, okay, she's told us this and she's told us that. And I want to know what really happened, that'd be, like, so cool. I mean, it's a little bit in the middle there, but, in the middle of things there, but it would actually be an okay book to start off on. And then, like I said, Test and Love. Somewhere in there, Sean gets rid of the competition, Adam, and he has 3 nightmares. I'm suddenly thinking it might have been 4. Anyway, so 3 or 4 nightmares. They all start out the same, but then they're slightly different. So, like in the first nightmare, it's, exactly what happened on his date, but slightly different. Okay, for one of those nightmares, I got inspiration from the movie Sky High, because the dad asks, "You're not the kid with the 6 arms, are you?" And he goes, "No." And then he, gets to take out the girl. Well, I got inspiration from that because, I had, I had, at first it's Tracy, and then it ends up being the other Ashley. I think I named her Robin. I know I named the real other Ashley Robin, but I don't know if I named her Robin in the story or not. I mean, in the nightmares or not. But anyway, like, the first time it's just, good night, Mr. Pendragon, or something like that from the dad. And then the next time it's, why don't you come over for dinner? And then the next time it was, why don't you come over for dinner? I won't be home. Something like that. And, so it gets... I want to watch that movie. Okay. I just decided I wanted to watch, Pirates of the Caribbean. Only problem is I'm still trying to catch up on YouTube videos. Oh my goodness. That's taken forever because, of course they keep making new ones. So the other day I watched all the ones from Chronicles of Todd. That's a kitty cat. He had a sister named Glamour, and she got very, very sick. She had cancer. And they decided instead of letting her suffer, they'd put her to sleep. And so that's what they're gonna do, or what they did. And they haven't been posting very much, but anyway, I watched all the videos from them, and then I might watch, today I might watch all of the ones from the Don't Stop Meowing family, because that's another cat family that I watch. Well, it started out as cat family. It's been videos of their son now, mostly. The cats are there, but like, it's Baby Taj at the carousel at the mall, Baby Taj at the pumpkin patch, Baby Taj on Santa's lap. They do have the kitty cats there, but they're like minor roles now instead of major roles. Um, and Taj is getting a baby sister. I hope it really is a baby sister. They've gotten a lot better at being able to tell if it's going to be a baby sister or a baby brother um, lately, but you know that would really be really bad if they went and got a whole bunch of like dresses and um you know dresses and the cute little patent leather shoes and all that stuff, and then it turns out it's a boy. It was kind of funny though, because they said they were saying that the doctor said that this shouldn't have happened, because it was hard to have a baby in the first place, so it shouldn't have happened. It should have been harder to have this another baby. Um, and I was like, I was thinking, and God said, "Oh yeah," and made sure that they had another one. Because every time the experts say something, God goes in there and goes, try this on for size. Yeah. Like, everybody thought that the volcano in Washington was dormant. It wasn't gonna erupt ever again. And, somewhere in um, it was either sometime when I was in high school or in the early 2000s. Was it the early 2000s? But anyway, whenever it was, um, that volcano erupted. I want to say Mount St. Helens, but I could be totally wrong. Um, but Washington State, the the volcano erupted, and everybody thinks that the one in Tahoe is dormant too. But if the one in Washington State could go off, so could the one that is Lake Tahoe. In fact, we used Lake Tahoe, the volcano, as a way to stop the zombie apocalypse in South Lake Tahoe. The only problem is that we had to go like all the way out to Utah to get away from the lava that we decided was gonna come out and get all the zombies. That's a book that we're still working on. We've got to work on it together, because me and my husband We were in a fencing class back in 2009. Might have been still there in 2010, but um, no, wait, it would have been before that. So 2008, 2009. Anyway, before 2010. Uh, oh, so yeah, we're from. Oh, we were there. Okay, yeah. Um, he was in the fencing class in 2007. Um, just before our son was born, because I was in the Pal Show play. It was like it was like Johnny Carson used to be, where you have um, you know, where you have this person doing a skit, and you like maybe have some dancers and some singers, and a whole bunch of different stuff. We came up with um, a thing where nobody talked. Well, maybe I did, but nobody talked, and the person that did the part that I was doing got sick. So um, they let me do it anyway, even though I wasn't in the class. But I think I joined the class the next year, so it wasn't a big deal. Or it might have been in 2008. But either way, we um, either way, um, I all I had to do was take out a tray. It was a little too heavy for me because I was pregnant, and but anyway, all I had to do was take out a tray with uh some uh steins, the metal ones, um, basically beer mugs, but metal, and and a couple of bowls, I think. Anyway, that's all I had to do was take that out, and then then my part was over. So they let me do that, even though it wasn't part of the class. Somebody finally explained, because they were trying to pretend that I was the lady that wasn't able to show up um, at first. Anyway, so so they let me do that, and then they were practicing for the PAL show the next year, and I thought it was really cool. My son was playing the piano, but he wasn't playing it like kids usually do, where they go and take their whole hand, and I wish I had that video. But he was playing the um he was playing the piano. He was playing it so gentle, and he like wasn't even 1 years old yet. He was playing it so gentle, and it actually sounded like something. So I wish I still had that. If I don't, then grr. But if I do, and they can recover it, that'd be really great. Um, I recorded that on a really old camera. Might have been recorded on my phone, but I think it was a really old camera. Because that was like back when you had the chocolate bar phones. They're like the size and shape of a chocolate bar. So they're a chocolate bar phone. Yeah, I am. Oh, I am needing to quit. I forgot. Anyway, so, please check out my books. And, if you're watching me on Twitch right now, please follow and chat. And if you're watching me on YouTube right now, please like, share, comment, subscribe, notification bell, and please get those valid public watch hours up. And and dang, I will see you in the next stream or video.